Gwinnett County, Georgia. Imagine a quiet, cool autumn morning. The city is waking up, people are going about their usual routines, everything feels completely normal, and nothing suggests that anything is about to go wrong. Until one call brings the entire city to a halt. Local police receive a report. An 8-year-old girl is missing. Nicole Amari Hall. But most people simply knew her as Amari, a name she chose for herself. Officers arrive within minutes. Cameras are checked immediately. The entire area is searched inch by inch. But the problem is, no one ever saw her leave. Not her. Not anyone with her. And that's when the case starts to fall apart. Because if the child never walked out, then what really happened inside that room? And why do the adult stories start changing with every passing hour? Even more disturbing, the truth was much closer than anyone could have imagined. And by the time investigators realized it, they were no longer looking for a missing child. They were looking for something else entirely. Hi everyone, before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And let me know in the comments, do you think a hotel could deliberately hide evidence to protect its reputation? Because this case isn't just about a disappearance. It's about what can be hiding behind closed doors. Let's begin. In Gwinnett County, Georgia, lived a vibrant 8-year-old named Nicole Amari Hall. Most people just called her Amari, a name she picked out herself, and her grandma always talked about how she was the most cheerful, high-energy kid you'd ever meet. Amari was all about that kitchen life. She loved cooking side by side with her grandma and playing dress-up whenever she got the chance. On top of that, she was a total sweetheart to her little brother and sister, constantly showering them with love. Amari shared a home with her brother, Jakari, her 6-year-old sister, Zira, their 27-year-old mom, Brittany Hall, and Brittany's partner, 29-year-old Celeste Owens. The couple had been together for a few years and had recently set up shop at Hometown Studios, an extended stay hotel. They'd been living there for about 3 months, and the kids were being homeschooled at the time. Fast forward to Sunday morning, November 21st, 2021. Around 9 a.m., Brittany Hall hopped on a call with 911 to report that Amari had vanished. According to Brittany, the last time she laid eyes on her daughter was in their hotel room sometime between midnight and 1 a.m. She claimed she'd even engaged the deadbolt on the door, but when she woke up, the door was slightly ajar and Amari was nowhere to be found. Brittany told the cops she'd already done a full sweep of the building before finally calling for help. The 27-year-old mother explained to the dispatcher that Amari had autism and required daily meds. She mentioned that her daughter had never wandered off on her own before, but she was trying to stay positive, noting that Amari was actually a very sharp and capable kid. Brittany said, "She is very, very smart. Even though she's autistic, she is very aware of things. She's very observant. This hurts." Brittany pointed out that she and the kids didn't have any relatives living nearby, so it wasn't like Amari could have just walked over to a family member's place unless someone actually forced her to go. When the dispatcher pressed her on whether Amari had a history of running away, Brittany's answer was a flat no. However, she did mention they'd been dealing with some behavioral struggles recently, so the idea of her taking off wasn't exactly out of the question. Brittany also let dispatchers know that if Amari really did slip out of the room, she probably wouldn't have bothered closing the door behind her. The latch was noisy, and she would have been worried about waking everyone up.
Right now, the desperate search continues to find 8-year-old Nicole Amari Hall, who vanished from this Hometown Studio hotel here in Peachtree Corners. Investigators say she's been missing since early Sunday morning. Amari's family tells us the 8-year-old is autistic and in need of daily medication, adding to the urgency of the search.
I woke up yesterday morning and my daughter wasn't here. The doors cracked. I went outside. I went to go around the whole place. I went twice. I did not see her. I called 911.
Brittany's partner, Celeste, claimed she couldn't offer much help with the timeline. According to her, she'd been out meeting her sister and spending the night with their grandma. She didn't get back until around 4 a.m. and crashed immediately, only to be jolted awake later by Brittany screaming that Amari was gone. By noon, just 3 hours after the initial 911 call, Amari's info was plastered all over the local news. The alert described an 8-year-old African-American girl, standing 4 feet 10 inches and weighing about 80 pounds. She was last seen rocking a blue Tweety Bird jacket over a blue and white pajama set. She also had her glasses on and was wearing those rainbow sneakers that light up with every step. Investigators started by tossing Brittany and Celeste's room, but they didn't stop there. Every single room in that hotel was searched top to bottom. Pretty soon, K-9 units were on the ground and choppers were circling the wider area. Meanwhile, nearby businesses and buildings were handing over their CCTV footage as everyone went into all-hands-on-deck mode to track down the 8-year-old. Even with this massive search effort underway, by 4:30 p.m., Gwinnett police admitted they were coming up empty on solid leads. Despite the lack of progress, they stated they hadn't seen any red flags pointing to foul play just yet. They said, "Miss Hall is new to the area, so she doesn't have a lot of friends or family she would reach out to. Officers are just patrolling the area, searching the woods, searching different businesses, trying to find out where she could have gone. Wherever she is, I trust that the public alongside the police department and our resources, we can locate her and try and give the family some answers." Interviews with Brittany and Celeste, along with the 2 younger kids, Jakari and Zaire, were still going strong as investigators kept pushing for answers.
The reason we're asking you all these questions and we're trying to get specific every detail, it's not because we're like, ooh, what's Celeste doing? No, it's because we're trying to figure out at some point this child has gone missing,
right.
And the best way for us to figure that out, even if it seems doesn't make sense, like why are they asking this? What's this have to do with that? We want to know every specific detail for every moment
right.
that you went through in the last like 72 hours.
Yeah.
We can put everything together and we can figure out, okay, so where's the 8-year-old? What's going on? But in order for us to build this crazy picture to be able to try to figure that out, we got to know everything. How did the kids know you? Like, did they call you Celeste? Did they call you mom number 2? Like, what?
Dad.
They call you Dad? Okay. And what time was that when you got back yesterday?
I was around, I want to say, because I came back before she went to the store, and when she came back, I left. And then I got back around, I want to say 4-ish, close to 5-ish, I'm not sure.
So when you got back from Grandma's house, you said that was 4 or 5 p.m.?
No, 8 a.m.
5 a.m. Now, when you get back around 4 or 5, did you notice that the kids were in their bed? Or?
I didn't, well, it's like, I didn't think to notice that she would go.
So you just wanted to go to bed, you weren't really like checking to see if they were there or not, you just assumed they were.
Yeah.
And was Brittany was home when you did that, when you got in? Okay.
I was asleep, and that's when Brittany woke me up and said, "Hey, you know, we gotta find it, and I'm like, what happened, what's going on? And then that's when she went outside and started looking.
When was the last time you actually saw Nicole Saturday?
The last time I saw her was before I left, before Brittany came back. And before I left, that was the last time I.
So Brittany gets back from BP, as you're leaving with your sister, you do see Nicole, you see her there, you know she's there.
When I got back from the store, I didn't know for sure. But before she left the store, she was there. But when I got back early that morning, I didn't look to see her.
No, okay, so before you left with your sister.
That was the last time I saw her.
So when you were leaving to go with your sister to Grandma's house, that's when you saw her there?
She never and then even if she wants to go outside, she'll always ask. Both of us. She don't just ask one parent, she'll ask both of us.
Do you know where Nicole is?
No, I don't.
No. Did you take Nicole from home?
I did not take Nicole from home.
Did anything happen to Nicole within the last 24 hours that you're aware of that caused her any type of injury?
No.
No. Is Nicole alive that you're aware of?
That I'm aware of, yes.
Is she dead that you're aware of?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any reason to believe that she would not be okay?
Well, any kid that's wandering out, I assume the worst.
Okay. Do you know anything about her whereabouts?
No, I said the same thing we've been saying 20 times today.
We're going to step out for a second. We're going to go talk to Brittany for a little bit, and then we'll get back to you, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Celeste voiced her own theory, suggesting that Amari had probably bolted out of the hotel on her own, only to be spotted and snatched up by someone waiting in the shadows.
And with all that, what do you think happened with Nicole?
I'm gonna tell you from my personal experience. 2 years ago when I got back with Brittany, because we were together before, but before she had kids, and then we separated, and then we came back together. My one-on-one relationship with her was, she was a sweet child, but the only thing was her behavioral problem.
So what do you think happened last night?
What I think? I think Maury probably got super mad,
like it could be 1,000 reasons. I really don't know what goes through. I'm not the mother,
Okay.
so I really don't know what goes through this girl's mind. I'm still learning her and still getting her to accept, me, because she does realize it was just her and her mom. Now I came into the picture, so I don't know if it's probably was different for her. Like, who is this person, and trying to understand.
Does she try to get into it with you when she gets upset?
No, she just tells me leave me alone.
Okay.
I'm like, I'll leave me alone, and then when she's done, probably an hour later, she'll probably come back and be like, I apologize, and I'm like, it's okay, it's okay.
So what do you think happened with her?
I really think she just, God forbid, but I really think that she just, of course, ran away, but I really think that, God forbid, somebody snatched her up.
We want to know where Nicole is. It's not a if we find Nicole.
I want to know where Nicole is.
It's a when we find Nicole. We're going to find her.
Yeah.
If it's within the next couple hours, within the next couple days, we're going to find her. Okay? It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
We know something happened. We know she's somewhere, and I think that you know where she is.
It's just how you
Well, this is just what we gotta do. We gotta talk to everybody.
I've been in this predicament before when someone murdered my mother, and they didn't come at me like this. When they sat me down, they just let me write everything, and they just went off that. But I'm just being real with you. It's not how you come at me.
Well,
I think you did this.
I think you know.
You just said it. I think you know where she is. And it's like, if you think I know, then what are you trying to get me to say?
Once the 24-hour mark hit, detectives decided to step things up and called in a homicide team to join the investigation.
Also breaking for you right now, the search continues for that missing 8-year-old girl in Gwinnett County who police say is in danger tonight. This is the second cold night that Amari Hall from Peachtree Corners has been away from her home, away from her mother. John Sherrick is live for us tonight from outside the mother's extended stay hotel. John.
Gwinnett County Police have suspended their search for Amari until daybreak, although the investigation into her disappearance continues. Gwinnett County Police conducting a grid search of these woods between the hotel where Amari lives with her mother and Peachtree Industrial Boulevard.
We are working every lead and we are looking at every angle.
Gwinnett County Police Sergeant Jennifer Richter says the mother and Amari moved to the hotel a couple of months ago and have no relatives living nearby. Among the searchers, volunteers from Alpha Team Canine Search and Rescue. Amari wears eyeglasses and may be wearing rainbow light-up shoes. Gwinnett County Police are saying that it is more urgent by the hour that someone find her soon, and they're hoping everyone involved in this investigation is hoping that someone will spot her soon and call 911.
All right, John, hoping for a safe, quick recovery. Thank you so much.
The mercury was dropping below freezing now, which only made the search efforts that much more grueling. County Police Sergeant Jennifer Richter didn't sugarcoat the situation, stating, "Right now, we are pulling out all the stops to drum up any kind of lead. We're doubling back to re-interview anyone necessary and talking to every potential witness. But honestly, with this much time passing, we're looking at a critical situation. It's deeply concerning." However, the vibe shifted almost instantly when investigators dropped a bombshell on the media. They already had suspects in custody regarding Amari's disappearance. Even worse, they admitted they were no longer expecting a happy ending. They were officially searching for Amari's body, not a girl who is coming home safe and sound. And then came another absolute shocker.
For breaking, the mother of a missing child arrested and charged. Brittany Nicole Hall is in the Gwinnett County Jail right now on multiple cruelty to children charges.
Investigators say they've gone room to room, enlisted the help of canines and a helicopter in their search. Still no Amari. They tell me they've combed through the surveillance video from the hotel and add they've found something concerning, but are unwilling to release those details at this time in order to protect the investigation. As police work to uncover the truth, neighbors here at the Hometown Studio Hotel remain baffled at how this young girl seemed to vanish in plain sight.
Nobody heard anything. Nobody heard anything, any commotion or anything.
Brittany finally cracked under the relentless pressure from investigators. She ditched her original story and dropped a heavy confession. Celeste was the one who killed her daughter, and Brittany had played accomplice by helping cover up the crime. Tragically, just as the clock hit the 2-day mark, the search for Amari reached its devastating conclusion.
I'm deeply sad to report to you that at 10:45 this morning, the body of Amari Hall was discovered.
Brittany ended up pointing them toward a patch of woods right off the Stone Mountain Freeway in DeKalb County. That's where they found Amari, naked and partially buried under a layer of dirt and leaves. The poor girl had been wrapped in 3 trash bags lashed together with rope, but you could still make out her small frame through the plastic. She was discovered about 15 miles away from the hotel, where she was supposed to be safe. Police Chief J.D. McClure didn't hold back his emotions, saying, "My heart truly goes out to Amari Hall's extended family. We put everything we had into this case. We worked around the clock, and it's devastating that it ended like this." The autopsy revealed the absolute horror Amari had endured. She had multiple fractures to her skull and ribs, along with massive blunt force trauma and deep cuts on her arms. Her liver was lacerated and she was bleeding internally. Something had hit her so hard it actually crushed her liver against her spine. The medical examiner also pointed out that Amari weighed a mere 54 pounds, roughly 30 pounds less than what she should have weighed for her age. She was clearly malnourished, and the coroner officially ruled that she died from prolonged, brutal abuse, including being struck in the head. They classified it as battered child syndrome.
We compared statements that we had gotten from Brittany Hall and also her partner, Celeste Owen. We compared those statements with evidence that we gathered and recognized that those statements were indeed false. Our investigation transitioned from a missing person case to indeed a homicide case. Within the next several hours, we will charge Celeste Owen with felony murder in connection with the death of Amari Hall. Additionally, Brittany Hall will be charged with concealing the death of another. We will continue to also investigate her role in this murder.
Only a few hours into the investigation, detectives began to smell a rat. The stories coming from Brittany and Celeste simply weren't lining up, and the red flags were popping up everywhere. The first major crack in their story involved Celeste's whereabouts during those early morning hours. While she claimed to be out with family, the timeline she provided started to crumble under even the slightest bit of scrutiny.
So what was the first time Saturday that you left?
The first time Saturday, I can't recall really the time.
Was it morning, afternoon, evening?
The first time I left, I went to the store. It was morning. Went to the store that day, and then came back, and then left again, and then helped my sister out, and then came back that morning before she went.
Now, when you left again to help your sister out, what time was that?
Left again before. It was. I couldn't really even tell you.
Afterwards, before dinner, nighttime day. I mean, the sun goes down at 5 o'clock.
Before that, it had to be nighttime. It was daylight went there.
So when you went to go help your sister, it was already nighttime.
Going on night.
Going on night. So after 5 o'clock. Okay.
It turns out Celeste's alibi was a total work of fiction. She hadn't spent the night with her grandmother or her sister at all. In fact, her family dropped a bombshell of their own. They hadn't laid eyes on her in months. It was a lazy, easily debunked lie that fell apart the second the cops made a few phone calls.
And then when you get back?
That's Saturday morning. I mean, you talking about Friday?
No, we're still on Saturday.
Still on Saturday.
So we left.
So Saturday morning I came back. Sorry, I'm just...
Okay, so let's just, sorry, just breathe. Okay, so you hang out with Brittany all morning on Sunday. You go to the store, you come back, and then you leave again when it's kind of dark to go help your sister, and then you come back. When you get back.
Often. Sometimes I don't wake up, sometimes I just...
Well, I'm not talking about sometimes, I'm talking about just yesterday.
Just Saturday.
Just yesterday.
Came back around, let me give you the specific time. Oh, man, what times? I think the morning. I want to say, because I came back, it was evening, it was dark. I want to say 2 o'clock, because I was in, then came back.
Like 2 a.m.?
Came back, yeah, 2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
Mm-hmm. 2, because Saturday, sorry.
Okay, so let's start over. We're getting all over the place here.
Brittany gave the police this whole story about how she'd been frantically scouring the hotel hallways and parking lots for what felt like forever before finally calling 911. The problem? Not a single security camera caught even a glimpse of her doing that. Even more damning, the surveillance footage didn't show Amari bolting out of the hotel or leaving with some stranger, either. It was becoming crystal clear to investigators. That 8-year-old girl never made it out of that room alive.
So she wakes you up, she calls 911 as she's waking you up, you said, and then she goes outside and she went and checked the whole parking lot.
Check the camera, I guarantee.
Okay, so that was one thing I wanted to touch on too. So we've checked several cameras. There's a camera for the hotel, there's the car wash across the street, there's a hibachi, there's another camera. We've checked all those cameras. We have people checking those cameras right now. They never saw her walking around that hotel.
Really? This morning?
Mm-hmm. Now, did you see her go walking around?
I only saw her go down the steps and go down the side, and by that time she's already on the phone with 911.
Now, another thing I do have to ask is on the side that something else might have happened. Is there any reason something else might have happened? Like maybe more got hurt and there was an accident and we're just afraid to talk about it, something like that?
Yeah, sometimes she is like that. You'll ask her what's wrong.
I mean, I'm talking like last night. Did something happen to her to where she got hurt real bad, and we're coming up with this story to try to get away from that because we're worried that like when the police find out, they're going to think something else happened and we're going to get in trouble, like something like that.
No.
The medical examiner's findings threw another wrench into their story. Amari had actually passed away a full 2 days before Brittany ever picked up the phone to call 911. But the real break in the case came from an interview with Amari's sister, Zaire. The poor girl was covered in bruises herself, and what she told investigators laid it all out. She said that 2 days before Amari was eventually found, Celeste told her that Amari had been sent away to the Bad Kids Hospital.
Is there any reason why Zaire would say Dad took her sister to the Bad Girl Hospital?
To the Bad Girl Hospital? Oh, she's saying that because when Maury would act out, I say, Maury, listen, if you can't listen to us, you're going to go, can't say defects, can't say none of that stuff. I said, Maury, if you can't play with your sisters or you can't negotiate, you're going to go to this place. And normally when we say that, Maury act right for at least 3 hours.
Why would Zaire say that she saw you take Nicole last night?
She saw me take, she didn't.
Why would she say that you took her last night and that she's not coming back?
I didn't take her last night. I don't know why she would say that.
Okay, we've got a missing 8-year-old. If a 6-year-old says, hey, Mom's girlfriend took her, and I just brush that off, then I'm not doing a good job, okay? No, sir.
I wouldn't purposely take her out, then call you to say she's missing.
Okay. And like I just said, it's nothing against you, nothing that I have against you or anything. Right. We've got your phone, we've got your girlfriend's phone. We're getting into those phones. Whether you guys like it or not, we're getting search warrants. We're going through them. We're going to check location data. We're going to check text messages, whether they're deleted or not. We're going to check phone call records. We're checking camera systems for vehicles, vehicle tags, locations. We're going to talk to every single person you guys have even thought about talking to in the past 5-6 days.
Okay, so to go through your phone, you want us to just get a search warrant then? You don't mind if we just look through it real quick? It'd be way faster.
You have to have probable cause for a search warrant. I'm not a probable cause. I'd rather have a lawyer before you go through my phone.
The investigators uncovered dozens of truly sickening videos on Celeste's phone, which captured both women constantly beating and tormenting the children. On top of that, Celeste's search history painted a grim picture of premeditation. She'd been Googling things like, what to do when a child just doesn't listen, lakes near me, how do sewers on the streets work, and why do kids run away? She even searched for, how do I report someone missing, and looked up her U-Haul customer account details.
Okay, so I just want to talk to you away from her, separate me.
Yes. All I'm saying is, just to clear things, I am discombobulated. I cannot give you exact times. If you feel like I wanted the BP that time, run the camera back to the BP where you saw me with this hat. You don't approach people like that to try to get something out of someone because you think so. Then why would a little girl this? Why would a little girl? I'm telling you everything that's going on. And then when we come for help, you don't really get help. That's why a lot of people do things and just don't call the cops and handle it their own way because they can flip, just like what it did today, like my dad always told me. Anything can flip with cops. So it just pisses me off because I've been out all day. I've been answering you respectfully all morning. Respectfully all morning. Then I get here and I'm in the room that I've never been in before that I've seen on First 48 and being chastised with questions trying to make me, I think you did it. As soon as he said that, it broke me to the core. Because if I did it, I damn sure wouldn't be in that hotel. I would be going on the run. Because like I might as well take matters in my own hands or hire a private investigator. Like I wanted to do today. I said, babe, if they can't actively find today, when we get up on money, we're going to hire a private investigator to also help. Information I gave you, the information she gave you, when she woke up, she was not there. That's it. You can flip the bed. You guys check the bed 10 times. Go flip it again. We give you permission to go in there. If you guys asked us, but you guys kept coming in, but you know you gotta have warrant to come in anyway, but we open the door and let you come in. So it's like, just have some respect for it. It's like, come on, we wouldn't be calling you for help if I would have just got away with it.
On November 19th, the very day investigators believe Amari was killed, security footage caught Celeste renting out a small U-Haul truck. From there, she hit up a dollar store to stock up on latex gloves, bleach, and some drinks. She dropped the van back off at 7:30 p.m. that evening, and by 8 p.m., she was already waiting for an Uber. By tracing the truck's route and tracking cell phone pings, police were able to pinpoint exactly where Amari's body had been left in DeKalb County. In just a matter of hours, the whole house of cards came crashing down. Apparently, Brittany had been talking about putting Amari up for adoption. This was especially heartbreaking because Amari's grandma, Barbara, said she had begged Brittany multiple times to let her take in and raise all 3 kids, but Brittany always shut her down. Neighbors mentioned that while they never saw anything suspicious, they hardly ever saw the children leave that hotel room. It was a completely isolated environment. The police theory is that Celeste delivered the fatal blow to Amari's head while Brittany helped manage the cover-up. The two of them allegedly stuffed the little girl into trash bags before Celeste used the U-Haul to transport and dump her body.
But the guy said as soon as we stepped out the door, you couldn't do that. So what stories are y'all giving me?
Search warrant for your phone. What do you mean we can't do that? Probable cause 51%. We have probable cause all day.
I just want our phone. So
Well, I know, but you're not getting your phone. Well, you gotta stay seated.
for what?
Well, you're not allowed to leave.
How am I allowed to leave?
Well, I'm telling you, you're not allowed to leave.
Why am I being detained?
Yes, you are being detained.
How?
You're getting charged for law obstruction, giving false statements. You're not allowed to leave. So
I'm
you
getting
can sit
charged
down.
for false statements?
You can sit down. Or I
I'm
can have the
not being
officer.
detained.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, you are. So either you can sit down and relax.
So we're both being detained.
You are being detained.
I'm being detained because someone didn't see me. So now y'all want to know where
People
someone see
didn't
me.
see you. Multiple people that honestly are in your corner. You can't even say they're a biased witness because they're not helping you out.
Celeste was hit with a heavy slate of charges, including first-degree murder, concealing a death, and 7 counts of first-degree child cruelty. Brittany didn't walk away clean either. She was charged with cruelty to children, concealing a death, and filing a false police report. As for Amari's brother and sister, the Division of Family and Children's Services stepped in and removed them from the situation. In a touching show of support, local authorities rallied together, raising over $3,500 in just 1 week to help the kids out. When they finally had their day in court for their first appearance, the judge made it clear there would be 0 chance of bail for either of them. Celeste, however, didn't seem to have a care in the world. She was actually caught on camera laughing while she signed her paperwork.
There is no bond today. Any other questions?
Brittany Hall faced a judge for the first time in a Gwinnett County courtroom Wednesday. Gwinnett police say the woman told them where they could find the body of her 8-year-old daughter after her arrest Monday night.
There is no bond on the felonies have been denied, says you're a danger to the person. Only a Superior Court judge sitting in your case can grant a bond. Do you understand that? Do you know what that means for you? It means you're going to be here for a while, okay?
Hall's partner, 29-year-old Celeste Owens, also appeared in court. She's charged with felony murder, making false statements, cruelty to children, and concealing a death. Both women asked for an attorney, a judge assigning each of them a public defender. The judge said a date has not yet been set for next appearances. Until then, both women will remain locked up.
As detectives dug deeper into the evidence, combing through those disturbing videos on Celeste's phone, listening to the heartbreaking testimony from the other kids, and reviewing the autopsy results, it became undeniable. Brittany wasn't just a bystander. Prosecutors realized she had not only allowed the torture, but had actively participated in the abuse that killed Amari. Because of this, they didn't go easy on her. Brittany's charges were bumped up to include murder. She was later indicted on felony murder, several counts of child cruelty, concealing a death, and lying to the cops. To give you some context, under Georgia law, a felony murder charge means you can be convicted of murder if someone dies while you're committing another felony, even if you weren't the one who physically ended their life. It turns out this family had been on the state's radar for years, but the system completely failed to protect those kids. A spokesperson for the Department of Human Services admitted that the Division of Family and Children's Services had looked into Amari's situation back in 2015 and 2017, but they labeled those investigations as unsubstantiated. There was even a report filed in 2021, but they claimed it didn't mention any actual abuse or neglect. According to the DHS, their records gave them no reason to think the children were in immediate danger. They've since stated they are working hand in hand with law enforcement to help with the case and to make sure Brittany's other children are finally safe and taken care of.
Well, opening statements are currently underway for Celeste Owens, one of the two women accused of killing an 8-year-old and trying to cover up her death. Well, Owens and the child's mother, Brittany Hall, they were indicted back in 2022 for the death of Amari Hall. Hall's trial will happen at a later date.
3 years following Amari's death, Celeste Owens finally faced a jury. Despite the mountain of evidence, she maintained her innocence, pleading not guilty to a laundry list of charges: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, numerous counts of child cruelty, concealing a death, and lying to investigators. The court decided to try the two women separately, largely because Brittany had pointed the finger squarely at Celeste from the jump. Celeste's public defender stuck to a specific strategy, arguing that she wasn't the one who actually killed Amari or delivered those lethal blows. Their whole defense rested on the idea that the prosecution hadn't effectively proven, beyond a reasonable doubt, which woman was truly responsible for the girl's death.
Hold people accountable for the roles that they played in each of the crimes. And she is responsible for the role that she played. They did this together. Their method was together. So it doesn't matter who delivered the fatal blow. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there was not one fatal blow. Every single blow was fatal to Amari. Every single one. You saw that. You heard Dr. Down say that. So remember, because of the battered child syndrome that he explained, that we'll talk about again a little later, every single blow mattered. It doesn't matter. Just like it doesn't matter who pulled the trigger, it doesn't matter who delivered the fatal blow. It could be Brittany, it could be Celeste. It makes no difference. They are both guilty, and today is her day.
However, the case the prosecution built was pretty much ironclad. You had Zaire's gut-wrenching testimony about the nonstop abuse, the horrific videos found on the phone, the U-Haul surveillance footage, the GPS pings, and that endless trail of lies and flip-flopping stories. It all painted a seriously dark picture. The footage recovered from Celeste's phone was so graphic and disturbing that a police officer actually had to look away from the screen while testifying about it on the stand. Amari's sister, now 9 years old, testified via video link, courageously telling the court about the abuse they endured and recounting exactly what Celeste had told her that night about the bad kids' hospital.
Had toilet paper in her mouth, and the next morning she wouldn't wake up.
Emotional testimony Wednesday from Amari Hall's now 9-year-old little sister.
Whitney tried to wake her up, and then after that, she got put in a container with a lid on it, and got put in the trunk of a car and drove to the bad kids hospital.
She opened up about being forced to sleep on the bare floor without even a blanket, and how she'd just stare at the wall for hours because they weren't allowed to have any toys. She detailed every single horror that happened in that room. Despite the trauma she'd endured, she was incredibly composed and confident on the stand. Just a remarkably brave kid. Amari's grandma, Barbara, who the kids called Gigi, also took the stand. She testified that she was completely in the dark about the physical abuse, finding out the same way the rest of the world did when the news broke. Barbara shared that there was a time when Amari and her siblings lived with her and attended school, and she set the record straight. The troubled child Brittany described simply didn't exist. According to Gigi, Amari was the opposite: sweet, polite, and whip-smart. Amari actually loved going to school and was never disrespectful or out of line. But at the end of 2020, they moved back in with Brittany. Barbara didn't want them to go, but she and her husband eventually had to say their goodbyes. After that, contact just dropped off. Barbara tried calling Brittany constantly just to hear the kids' voices, but she could never get through. She had no clue where they were staying or just how dark their lives had become.
Release you for the day with the reminded proviso. I know you guys want me to keep telling you this, but it's very important that you not discuss this case, not research anything about this case, not watch any news or read any articles, and don't let anyone discuss it with you. Does everybody understand that? All right, very good.
After a grueling trial that left everyone in that courtroom absolutely drained, the jury finally came back with their decision.
A woman will spend the rest of her life behind bars after a Gwinnett County jury found her guilty in the beating death of an 8-year-old girl.
By December 2024, the hammer finally came down on Celeste Owens as the jury returned a guilty verdict on every single charge she was facing.
The court does hereby sentence you as follows. Count 1, malice murder. You are hereby sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Count 7 merges with count 3. Count 6 merges into count 3. And count 5 merges to count 2. On the remaining counts, counts 8 through 18, and counts 19 and 21, the court does hereby sentence you to consecutive 235 years. So life without parole plus 235 years.
The court slapped her with a sentence of life plus an additional 235 years behind bars. Judge Angela Duncan, who had been presiding over this nightmare since the day she shot down their request for bail, didn't hold back and had a few choice words for her during the sentencing.
You will never see the light of day to perpetrate this type of behavior, cruelty, and evilness upon another person.
Brittany, who's 31, tried to maintain her innocence at first, but by September 2025, she threw in the towel and took a plea deal. She copped to felony murder, 11 counts of child cruelty, hiding a death, and lying to the authorities. Just like Celeste, she was handed a life sentence. The prosecution put it bluntly, saying, "The things we've seen and heard during this trial are burned into our brains forever. We'll never be able to unsee them." They called it the absolute worst case of child abuse they had ever encountered. This mother didn't just fail to keep her kids safe. She jumped right in and joined the abuse. It's a total tragedy. Everyone is still praying that Amari's siblings can find a way to heal from that nightmare and that this plea deal finally gives them and the rest of the family some kind of closure. Amari's brother and sister are out of DCFS custody now and are reportedly staying with Barbara. They made it out alive, but they're going to be carrying the weight of that night for the rest of their lives. Her grandma, Barbara, poured her heart out, saying, "I'm never going to see her play sports or teach her how to drive. I won't get to see her go to prom or do any of those grandmother-granddaughter things. My heart is shattered into a million pieces, and I just haven't been able to put it back together." This whole case is a gut-wrenching reminder of how vulnerable kids are and the horrific fallout when that innocence is destroyed. Amari's life was just beginning, and she was taken out by the very people who were supposed to be her ultimate safety net. Every kid deserves to be loved, kept safe, and given a shot at a future. Amari deserved so much more than the hand she was dealt and the tragic life she was forced to endure.